Hello, Ian Gray here. This is episode 43 of the Confident Live Marketing Show. It's great to be here. I'm back from social media marketing world and I'm not jet lagged, which is amazing because I've been using this app, which I know I've been going on about with to a lot of people. It's called the Time Shifter app. So if you're interested in getting rid of jet lag and not experiencing jet lag, then I definitely want to recommend the Time Shifter app. It's really, really good. But it's great to be here. This is my first live show after Social Media Marketing World. And in this show today, I'm going to be talking about bootstrapping your live video studio, particularly when it comes to cameras, because today I've upgraded my camera. I don't know whether you can tell the difference. I'm using the Canon M50 camera, which I've been wanting to play with for ages. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons of that, also some alternatives to that as well. I've just realized I'm probably looking at the wrong camera there, because I've actually got about 3 or 4 cameras going on here, which I'll share in a little bit. So if you're watching the replay, it's great to have you here. Let me know if you're watching the replay just by putting hashtag replay. And if you're watching live, I'd love to know where in the world you're from. Now, today I've not been that great in telling people about this. I've done what I recommend people don't do, and I've gone live very, very quickly without much promotion. But basically, it's only been a couple of days since I've come back from Social Media Marketing World. So things have been a bit mad. So I'm just going to check on LinkedIn. There we go. So is this right? There we go. Great. Yeah. So I'm going live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Periscope, my Facebook page, and my Facebook group. So if you're watching, let me know where in the world you're from. I can see already we've got Martin Buckland is here. He is watching from Toronto in Canada. So great to have you, Martin. Great to have you here. And May King is watching on LinkedIn. May King, you're awesome. It was great to see you at Social Media Marketing World. So I'm going to be sharing a little bit more about Social Media Marketing World in a future episode. But today I'm going to be talking about bootstrapping your live video studio. So I've got lots of new kit, which I can't wait to share with you. So today's show might not work perfectly because some of the tech isn't working quite as I would like, but we'll see. I'm going to share some tech. So if you go live, if you've played around with live broadcasting, I'd love to know what gear you have been using. Are you just keeping it really simple and going live from your phone? Or are you going live from your computer and doing some whizzy techno things? That would be great. I would love to hear from you. So it's going to be a little bit more of a geeky episode, but I'm going to keep things really super simple for you because I believe live streaming is for everybody. It's for an amazing way of getting your business and getting you in front of your audience. And it shouldn't need to be really difficult, but there's a few things that you can do just to level up the impact and authority and the professionalism of your live studio, of your live videos, which is awesome. I can see some more live viewers joining, which is great to see you guys here. But it's definitely time to get on with the live show. I've just forgotten one thing. Just give me a second. This is so professional of me. There we go. I've now started recording for the podcast. That would have been an absolute nightmare if I'd forgotten that. So there we go. Right. Cool. Right. Well, I will see you just after this.
Live Marketing Podcast with Ian Anderson Gray, helping entrepreneurs level up their impact, authority and profits through the power of live video. Gain confidence in front of the camera, confidence with technology, and confidence with the content and marketing.
Together, we can go live!
Hello, it's the Confident Live Marketing Show. My name's Ian Anderson Gray, and this is episode 43. In this show, I'm going to be talking about bootstrapping your live video studio. And in particular, I'm going to be talking about cameras. We have talked about cameras before. We have talked about some gear, but specifically, I want to share some of my updates on what I've been doing with my live video studio. And also just to encourage you that, if you haven't got much gear, if you just got a computer, if you're just going live from your phone, don't worry. It's taken me this time to actually upgrade my camera. So no worries about that. Just a big shout out to people who are watching live. If you're watching the replay, then just put hashtag replay and let me know where in the world you're from. So I've already mentioned just before we started, Martin Buckland is here from Toronto in Canada. And we've also got Dave Brown, who's watching from Northern California. I was in California last week, Southern California in San Diego. So great to see you. Great to see you, Dave. And we've got some lovely people watching on LinkedIn Live. I can't bring in your comments, or I can't highlight your comments on the screen because they haven't got the technology sorted yet. We've got Making here. I mentioned Making before. She says, thanks for the shout out, Ian. Really appreciate it. I'm tuning in from Sheffield at the moment. Fabulous city, Sheffield. We've got Dewi Jones is here. Hello from Wales. Good to meet you in San Diego. Yeah, so Dewi, I met you last week at the opening party, and I did see you around, but it was just a bit of a mad time. So I hope you really enjoyed Social Media Marketing World. It was awesome to see you. And yes, so there we go. So yes, Dewi says, enjoying normality making. There we go. Normality. Yeah, Making's really into her tea. So awesome to see you guys here. Today we're going to be talking about cameras, which is awesome. And yeah, just a little bit of an update from Social Media Marketing World. It was my 6th Social Media Marketing World. So if you don't know, Social Media Marketing World is the biggest social media conference in the world. It happens in San Diego every single year. And it was my 6th one and my 5th one speaking. I will be sharing some highlights soon, but it was just really great to hang out with some amazing friends and to meet new people. I always love it from that point of view. It was also great to see Katie, Glenn, and Ken from Ecamm, which is awesome, and also Gage from StreamYard. So meeting some people from the different social media tools, or live video tools, I should say, was awesome. Somehow I ended up singing and dancing on stage in front of around 3,500 people. This was part of the Social Media Marketing World musical, and I'm sure there are some videos online. I can sing really well, but whether I can dance and do choreography is another matter. I tried my best. That's all I can say. And yeah, I did my presentation on live video, on how to create an engaging live video show. Really enjoyed that. I think it went really well, as much as a recovering perfectionist can say that, but really happy with that. So that's great. We'll keep the comments coming. I'd love to know what gear you're using for your live video shows. If you've done any live video, or what you're thinking of doing, that would be really, really awesome. But first, it's time for my first sponsor, which is Content 10x. Content 10x are experts in content repurposing and provide a full end-to-end repurposing service. So they take one piece of content and they will repurpose that into a plethora of different content to explode across the interwebs. And as I've said so many times on this show, one of the things I love about live video is that it's a really quick and easy way of creating content. Once you've planned it, you've obviously got to plan your content, you go live, and you've now got a piece of content that you can then make into evergreen content. You can make that into a blog post, into a podcast, into social media images, all those kinds of things. And that's what Content 10x does. They will take that content, and it's particularly good with live video, but they also do it with other stuff too. And they will repurpose that into all these different types of content. And this helps you reach new audiences and saves you time so you can focus on building your business. I totally have seen the light when it comes to this. And I really don't know why I didn't embrace live video in this kind of way a few years ago, because it's saving me so much time. So if you want to find out more about how to repurpose your live videos or any other kind of content, they've got an awesome blog, a podcast, and now a book. It's called Content 10x, the book. But if you just head on down to content10x.com, you can find out more about that, and also find out how Content 10x, can do it for you, which would be really, really awesome. Cool. Right. So we've got some lovely, lovely people here. We've got, oh my goodness, we've got Diana Lunt is from Denmark. Awesome. Great to see you here. We've also got, Georgina Vilcek is here. A good friend of mine from Durham days. I went to the University of Durham, and she is in beautiful Durham. It's the most gorgeous place. I got engaged. I proposed to my wife in Durham. It's a lovely place. And the fab Stephen Healy is here. I can't believe, Stephen, we have not actually met yet in person. I hope one day we can meet. And you're from... I actually do know how you pronounce this place. Is it Devizes? I think it is Devizes. You live very, very close to my brother-in-law. So maybe one day when we're down there, I can actually meet you. That would be great. Cool. Got some lovely comments on LinkedIn. So Debbie Jones is using a GoPro Hero 6 with a Camlink 4. That is awesome. So just a little bit about that. I'm gonna be sharing a little bit more about the different ways you can bring cameras in. But a lot of cameras, not webcams, but a lot of other types of cameras have an HDMI output. So you've probably seen, like on TVs, you can plug devices in using what's called an HDMI cable. Well, I presume, Zoe, that the GoPro has an HDMI output, and then you can plug that into your computer using the Elgato Camlink 4K. And actually, the Elgato Camlink 4K is one of my recommended devices. It's a really awesome little tiny dongle that you plug into your computer, and then you can plug in any HDMI camera into it. So that's awesome. I'd love to know how you're using that. That'd be really, really cool. Making says that she is a smartphone girl. She's got an iPhone XS Max. I have pronounced that correctly. So that's cool. And I think, yeah, for you, Making, it makes perfect sense. Making was on the show quite a few episodes ago, and Making is an amazing live reporter and a FOMO creator. So she goes around the world at different events, and she needs to be really mobile. So for Making, it makes sense to use a mobile, and using that for all her live streams definitely makes sense. Yeah, and Debbie says it's a mini HDMI. And I actually now have got a mini to normal HDMI cable, which is awesome. Fab. So I wanted to share with you my what I've been doing in terms of my live my gear, the gear that I've been using in my live streams. I was actually going to share a little presentation, but unfortunately, for some reason, the audio when I go to sharing my screen becomes all a little bit weird. It becomes a bit distorted. So I need to look into that. So I'm not going to share that because that isn't going to work really very well. I'll explode your ears. But just wanted to share the difference really between going live from your smartphone and going live from your computer. There are advantages and disadvantages with this. So I know that May King, for example, she goes live from her smartphone. And the great thing about going live from your smartphone is that it has that more raw and authentic feel. You know, I think a lot of us want to make things more professional. That's great. But you don't want to lose that authenticity and that rawness to your live videos, which people really, really like. It's also easier to set up because basically all you need is your phone. Yes, you can plug in a microphone, you can enhance it with different lenses and all that kind of stuff, but it is easier to set up, and it's easy and great for spontaneous lives. If you just want to go live, you can pick up your phone and go live, assuming that you've got a good internet speed where you are. It's particularly good for tours and outdoor lives. So again, another shout out to May King. You know, if you're at a conference, you don't necessarily want to be bringing out your laptop and streaming from that. It's a lot easier to go live from your phone. But there are some disadvantages I wanted to share. These are not deal killers, but the first thing that you can't do is reliably bring in guests. In fact, now it is not possible to bring in a remote guest on Facebook. It's not possible on YouTube. It is technically possible on Instagram Live. You can do that, but on most of the platforms, you can't do that unless you use special software like Switcher Studio. And we've had Switcher Studio on the show. Got Mark Goworth talking about Switcher Studio. So if you want to find out more about Switcher Studio, just go back to go to iag.me/podcast, and you can find out you can find the podcast episode we did about that. The next thing that you can't do is you can't schedule your live shows, or schedule, depending on how you pronounce it. So this is where if you want to kind of advertise that you're going live next Tuesday at 2:00, what you can do from your computer is you can schedule that. So you can actually create the post ahead of time and people can comment it and share it And you can do that on Facebook and you can do that on YouTube, but you can't do it from your smartphone. And then the final thing that you can't do is if you want to do a how-to article, you can't share your screen on your phone. So you can't share a computer screen or your phone screen on a live on your phone. So that's that. So if you go live from your computer, here are some advantages. First of all, you've got a more professional setup, so you can use really cool cameras and microphones. You can save and repurpose your live videos in a really high quality format, something that I do. So if I want to repurpose that for later, you can use tools that will give you a really high quality video. You can interview remote guests, you can share your screen, you can add videos and graphics and branding, and you can schedule your live videos, which is really awesome. So Dave Brown is here and he says, what does he say? Let's just highlight his comment on the screen. Where's my, there we go. So he says, I've had great success with StreamYard and OBS Studio. I use the Logitech C920 and the AT2020 USB mic. I have a couple of studio lights and a green screen. That's about it. Oh, and the basic voice meter to make sure sound goes where it's needed. Cheers. So yeah, I'm not sure what do you mean by voice meter. I've not come across that before. You make it sound like that's you said that's all, but actually that's a pretty awesome piece of kit you got there. I'm going to talk about the C920, and that microphone is really awesome. And you've got lights and a green screen. That you've got loads more than I had when I started. So that's cool. Yes, and Making says, really appreciate your shout outs, Ian, and learning lots about advantages, disadvantages of going live on smartphone versus computer. I mean, yeah, this is just so that you know the difference. And it depends on the kind of live videos that you're wanting to do. If you're wanting raw, ready, authentic, going live from your phone is perfect. And especially for you making, going live at conferences and events makes total sense. But there are big advantages in going live from your computer as well. So there we go, fab. So let's move on to the next bit, which is I do want to talk about if you are going live from your computer, the thing is you do need to make sure that you have a reasonably powerful computer. If your computer's really old and underperforming, you might struggle in going live. So whether it's a Mac or a PC, these are the specs that I recommend. If the memory has got 16 gigabytes of memory, at least that is going to be awesome. Doesn't mean that you can't go live with 8, but 16 is much better. Your processor, because encoding video, broadcasting video is quite intensive, make sure that your processor is at least a quad core i7. Sorry that this is a bit techie, but just make sure, because if it's what's called a dual core, you may struggle. I had an old dual core computer and I struggled with that. And ideally, if your computer has a dedicated graphics card in it, that would be better. So, I mean, really the best thing to do is just to try it out. See how you get on. You might be okay with what you've got, but just check those things out. And of course, the next thing you need to work out is you need to have a decent internet speed. So always check on speedtest.net to make sure that you have a decent upload speed, because that's where problems can occur. So, bootstrapping your live video studio. Whether it's a phone or whether it's a computer, start with the basics. Either start with your phone or a computer, and then you can upgrade over time. I'm going to be talking about cameras specifically today. And the cameras that I've used over the years are basically, I've got 2 Logitech C920 cameras. These are around $60. That's £40. 60 euros, that kind of price. So they're relatively inexpensive. Now you can use an integrated camera if you've got a laptop, but just buying the C920 for $60, £40 is going to make a huge difference. And I'll show you the difference in a minute between those 2 cameras. If you've got a bit more budget, then the C930E, that's an even better camera. Or you could upgrade to the Logitech Brio, which is a 4K camera. So that's around $170, about 120 to 140 pounds. Now, I've had some issues with the Brio. I had to take it back. I had to send it back to Amazon. It just wasn't working with my computer. I know people have used it without any problems, but just to let you know, I personally had some problems. So I would say start off with either the Logitech C920 or C930. But if you've got more budget, then you can go up to the next level, which is all about plugging in a mirrorless or a DSLR camera. And so the two cameras that I recommend are either the Canon M50 with a 22mm f2 lens. And I'm going to share this in a minute. If you're watching live or watching the replay, I'm going to share this in a minute. I can't talk on that slide because unfortunately the audio gets corrupted. But basically, this is, if you buy the camera, it's really good to get what's called the pancake lens. This is the one here. If you can see that. Is it getting in focus? Come on, get in focus. There we go. It's the EF 22mm f2 lens. And that really makes a big difference because you get that nice blurred background, which is really, really awesome. Or the other option is the Panasonic range of cameras. So this is something that Adrian Salisbury recommended. He was on my show a couple of weeks ago, and he recommends the Panasonic G7 camera with an extra lens. This is the 20mm f1.7 lens. Plus, you'll need the Elgato Camlink Camlink dongle. So I'm just going to share this so you can see. So there you go. I can't talk on that screen, but basically that is the information. I'll put that in the comments as well. So I'm going to share in a minute. I'm just going to look at the comments and then I'm going to share some of the difference between those cameras because I've got all these cameras connected. So yeah, Dave Brown says he's a bit of a tech geek. I can't speak. A tech geek and a perfectionist. LOL. Yeah. Okay. Well, I would say maybe you're a recovering perfectionist like me. I'm not going to do this. Derry says on a Mac you can use an iPad or Apple TV as a second screen, which is definitely cool. Yeah, if you don't have an extra monitor, I think that's only on more recent iPads. So, okay, I'm going to share the difference. So currently, I'm using the Canon M50 camera. Now, if you're listening to the podcast, you won't be able to see this, obviously, but I'll try and describe the differences. So first of all, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take down my green screen. So first of all, I'm just going to, in Ecamm Live, I'm going to switch off the green screen. So this green screen background. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull down the background so you can see behind me. So now you might be able to see that the signs I've got behind me are blurred slightly. So it gives that nice kind of bokeh background. Now, the background that I have in this office isn't great, but if you've got a little bit more detail with this extra lens, with the 22mm lens, you do get this nice blurred background, which is pretty awesome. Okay, I'm going to put the green screen up again. By the way, this green screen here is really awesome. I didn't start with this. This is something that I got towards the end of last year. It's the Elgato green screen. So it's collapsible. It just is on the floor and then you can pull it up. And it's really, really awesome. It's actually reasonably portable and it's great for these things. So I'm going to put the background on again and I'm going to change the camera now. So now I'm going to downgrade. I'm going to now use my Logitech C920, and this is the camera that I have been using for years and years and years. Back in 2016 I was using this when I was first going live on Facebook, and I was using this for the OBS Studio course that I created. So there you go. That's the C920. So you can tell that my face is the actual quality of my face isn't as crisp as it is on that one, on the Canon M50. So you can tell the difference there. I need to kind of zoom in there as well because the sides are cutting off, but you basically can see that. So the C920 is still really good if you compare it to your integrated webcam. So I'm now going to change to my integrated webcam. I'm using a MacBook Pro. And you can see if you're watching that the quality is even well, it's even lower. It's actually quite fuzzy. And if I take my green screen down, you might be able to see a little bit better there. So the colors on my face aren't that great. That is the C920. And then if I go up to the Canon M50, you can hopefully tell the difference. I'm looking a bit shiny actually, so that's probably my lighting. So yeah, that's basically it. If you want to up the level, then I would recommend going for a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. Now, there are a few things that you need to bear in mind, such as the output of these cameras, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. So if you've got any questions for me, if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay, let me know, and I'll be very happy to answer those because there's quite a few techie things to think about when we go through all of these things when it comes to cameras. But first, it's time to bring in my second sponsor, which is StreamYard. StreamYard, it was so awesome to meet Gage for the first time. Gage is one of the co-founders of StreamYard. Met him at Social Media Marketer World, had an awesome conversation with him. I'm a big fan of StreamYard. I use it for multicasting to all these different platforms. So easy to use, and it's great to bring in all those comments as well. So StreamYard is my top recommended live video streaming tool as a web app. So this will work in any browser, whether it's Chrome, Firefox, or whatever. And it's great because it works for Mac and PC users. So whereas some platforms, some live video tools only work on either a Mac only or PC only, StreamYard works on both. It's incredibly easy, incredibly simple to use, and has so many amazing features, such as being able to highlight comments on the screen, adding your own titles. You can have up to 5 guests on your show without any extra software. You can share your screen, add your own brand colors, and you can stream to Facebook, Periscope, LinkedIn Live, YouTube, and more. And now, if you have a green screen like I've got behind me, you can add your own virtual backgrounds, which is awesome. All of that is available on the free version of StreamYard. So if you want to have a play, if you want to try all of these things, all of those features are available on the free version. Now, of course, there are paid versions. There are a couple of paid plans, and that gives you even more. So, for example, you can add your own logo that replaces the StreamYard branding. You can add overlays, backgrounds, videos, and you can multicast up to 5 destinations, which is really cool. So this allows you to go live to, say, Facebook and YouTube at the same time, or LinkedIn or Periscope, whatever you want. So if you want to find out more, if you want to have a little play, StreamYard has got a really great deal for Confident Live Marketing viewers and listeners. First of all, you'll get a 30-day free trial of the paid version. And if you go for the annual plan, you can get 16% off, which is awesome. All you need to do is go to iag.me/StreamYard to get that. That's iag.me/StreamYard. So just as I finished today, I just wanted to explain just a few little things about cameras, just so that you know. So if you're going to keep things simple from your computer, then just use a webcam such as the Logitech C920, the C930, or the Brio. And they're just plug and play. You just plug them into your computer. All of those will work with StreamYard. They'll work with other tools out there, such as Wirecast and Ecamm Live and all those kinds of things. They will, and Be Live. All of those will, the C920, the C930, the Brio will work with all of those tools really easily. If you want to take things to the next level and use a mirrorless camera or a DSLR, there's just a few things that you need to bear in mind. So if you're using a Mac, then you're going to go for a Canon camera, then you're in luck. You can use either Ecamm Live, or you can use some software called Camera Live and Cam Twist. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about those different solutions another time. But with Ecamm Live, you can actually just bring in your Canon camera into the software, and it will just appear as a virtual webcam, which is awesome. As a webcam on your computer. And you can either use Ecamm Live, or you can output that into other software, whether that's StreamYard or Zoom. So that's one solution. If you're using a PC, then you can use some other software to bring in your Canon cameras. Now, have I remembered the Sparko cam? That's it. So if you're using a PC, you can plug your Canon camera into your computer using software sparkocam.com, and that will allow you to use your Canon DSLR or mirrorless camera as a webcam. So it'll appear in your list for StreamYard. It will appear in all your other different live video tools out there. So that's really, really awesome. If you've got another type of camera, such as, say, a Panasonic, then unfortunately you can't just plug and play like that. You'll need another piece of kit, and that is basically an HDMI to USB converter. So this will take the HDMI output of your camera and add it as a webcam on your computer. And the recommended tool, or the recommended gear for this, is the Elgato Camlink 4K, and this is what Derry mentioned earlier. This is what he uses on his GoPro. So this is, it's over £100, $100, but it's a really nice piece of kit. You just plug it into your computer, and then you plug the output of your camera into your computer, and then it appears as a camera, a webcam on your computer that you can use in StreamYard, Be Live, or Ecamm Live, whatever, which is awesome. But you do need to check one thing. So what I'd recommend that you do is go to the Elgato website. That's elgato.com, and search for the Camlink and check that your camera is compatible. Because what you need to work out is whether your camera has what's a clean HDMI output. So sometimes when you plug your camera into the TV, it will show you all the kind of extra stuff on the screen, such as the number, the battery level that you've got, or the how many shots you've got left, or it will show you the focus on the screen. And of course, you don't want that to appear on your live videos. So some cameras will allow you to take all that stuff off and have a clean HDMI output, which will basically give you what the camera is showing. If that's possible, then you'll get a really nice quality coming through on your live streams. And the Panasonic cameras tend to have, some of them at least, have this clean HDMI out. The Canon that I've got, the Canon M50, doesn't actually have a clean HDMI out, but there are workarounds, and I'm going to be playing around with that over the next few weeks, so I'll share that with you. So pros and cons with that. So I just wanted to share that with you. If you've got any more thoughts on that, if you are thinking about getting any extra gear in the future, let me know. It'd be really, really cool. And if you haven't subscribed to my podcast, I really would love you to check it out. All you need to do is go to iag.me/podcast, or just search for the Confident Live Marketing Podcast in your favorite podcast app. I'd love to know, do you listen to podcasts, or do you prefer live shows, or do you do a bit of both? I'd love to know. That'd be really cool. So next time, I've got quite a few guests coming up. The last few shows have just been me, but we've got some really cool guests. I'm not going to tell you quite yet who they are, but I think they're going to be pretty cool. But that's the end of it. Thank you so much for watching, either live or the replay on LinkedIn, YouTube, Periscope, or Facebook. Or if you've been listening to the podcast, it's been awesome to have you. I really do not take you for granted, and I really, really feel very honored that you've plugged me into your ears, or you have been watching this live show. It's been awesome. So until next time, I encourage you to level up your impact, authority, and profits using live video. See you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Confident Live Marketing Podcast with Ian Anderson Gray. Be sure to join the community at iag.me, where you can continue to level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of live video. And until next time, toodaloo.